Video opens with a camera shot of quick flashes of NWABA athletes, and text reading, Guide Dogs 101, What You Need to Know, with NWABA's logo. The three individuals in this video are sitting side by side on stools, with their guide dogs at their feet on a hardwood floor, with a brick wall in the background.
Welcome to our Perspectives on Blindness Etiquette video.
Text appears that reads, Kirsten French, Senior Programs Manager, NWABA.
My name is Kirsten, and I'm about 5 feet tall. I have long brown hair. I'm wearing a light blue t-shirt, and at my feet is my female yellow guide dog, Nightly. And I'll pass it on to my left.
Text appears that reads, Sherry Chauvin, Senior Operations Manager, Nike.
Hi, I'm Sherry Chauvin, and I'm about 5'7". I have brown hair and brown eyes, and at my feet is my yellow Labrador Retriever named Haviland.
Text appears that reads, Lillian Goodman, Payroll Specialist, NWRESD.
Hi, I'm Lillian Goodman. I am about 5'4". I have long reddish-brown hair and blue-green eyes, and at my feet is my guide dog Spinoza, who is a Golden Retriever Lab Cross.
All of us happen to have a guide dog and happen to be a guide dog handler. That's not true for every person who's blind or low vision. It just happens to be for the three of us. But for you all, what do you wish that everybody knew about guide dogs?
Well, sort of a very simple thing is that these dogs, they're not robots, right? And when they play, they do there's a regular pet when they're not working.
Yes.
So they don't work all the time. Her harness comes off and she's a regular dog. And I think the problem is that people see them as a working dog out and about, and so they assume that that is what they do 24/7. Of course, that's not true, and most of the time she's actually sleeping like she is right now, although technically she's on duty because she's in harness,
Yes.
but she's not working too hard right now. So just that they are they're always on duty, and that's just not true. So
I think another thing people kind of assume is that the dog knows where they're going.
Yes.
That's not true. They can't read traffic lights. It's a team, so we as the handlers are knowing our route and are directing the dog to go either left or right. So they can't just say, oh, go find Starbucks and they'll take you there. I think a lot of people assume that. I think another thing, for people to know that come up to us is to talk to us and not the dog. I know it's really hard. They're really cute and they've got really, big brown eyes and they want to, initiate pets, but, they're working. To talk to us and to have a conversation. Yeah, we're great to talk about our dogs, but also we talk about other things as well. I think that's a big one too.
An analogy that someone shared with me one time that I found incredibly helpful was that in the same way that you would ignore an interpreter for a deaf person because that person's just providing communication access, but you are, as a hearing person, are communicating with that deaf person, eye contact, you're ignoring that interpreter, and the interpreter's going to move wherever they need to create that open communication, but you're ignoring that person, you are not talking to the interpreter. The same is true for a guide dog. Lillian touched on this, of the dog doesn't know where they're going. It's the handler who's giving those descriptions. The dog is doing everything that they're trained to do and doing that well, but you're ignoring that dog, and to talk to them, to call out their name, to even do something that's quiet or nonverbal to try to get their attention is still going to distract them from their work, and also can really make us as handlers not feel seen, because it's so true in the world that as blind and low vision people, we often get overlooked. We've talked a little bit about that, but that can also happen even more so with a guide dog, where someone comes up and talks about your dog and ignores you as if you aren't there. And you're like, oh, actually, I'm here. Oh, actually, I'm the person that is going to take the directions, or actually I'm the person who is in the meeting or is here. And it's important to make sure that all that communication is going from human to human, not human to dog.
And one other thing about what you're talking about in terms of talking just to the dog is, or distracting the dog, is that it's really a safety issue.
It is.
If you have someone come up and try and talk to the dog while we're about to cross the street, we've now taken that dog's attention away from whether it's safe to cross and for us to cross safely. And that can be super dangerous for us as a team. So we just really appreciate when people talk to us and ask permission to speak to the dog.
Yes.
And sometimes we'll allow that. If children come up, I'll take her harness off, and if I have time, right, and let them pet her. But it's not when she's working and we're actively guiding, then it's not a good time to interrupt.
Yes.
Yeah. And for me, I think if people ask, I'm, much more willing to, stop, take off the harness. It's the people who just automatically do it. That's where I have a big problem because, like you said, Sherry, it could be a safety issue or, whatnot.
And there's so many nuances to working with a guide dog that someone might not see. They don't necessarily see that the dog is letting you know there's a down curb, an up curb, an obstacle, something that we've said, hey, go forward, and the dog says, nope, actually, it's not safe. And I think that that's both a really good reminder when I'm walking with someone of, don't worry, you don't have to, you're not the guide. She's got this under control. You and I can continue to have our conversation as normal or just walk next to each other as two people. But our guides have got it. We can just continue this conversation. And that's the benefit of, sometimes it can be the benefit of using a guide dog. But sometimes those nuances people don't see. So what looks to one person of your dog's not working or they don't look like they're working right now, actually they are. They're doing something incredibly important. And as soon as you take their attention away, that can go from the situation is safe, it is okay, to being now it's really problematic.
Right.
Yep.
And it's that good reminder, as Sherry mentioned, of a dog isn't a robot. So in the same way that we as humans can get distracted, a dog can get distracted, and we want to minimize those as much as possible and to be able to respect that space, respect that team. In the same way, our dogs are also an extension of ourselves. It would not be okay to come up to someone and just touch their body, and we say that and you think, oh, that wouldn't be okay. I wouldn't just go up to someone and start hugging them or touching them, and I've never met them before. I've never asked them if they would like a hug, that you wouldn't do that to someone's guide because it is an extension of their body. It is that mobility device and that tool, and a very cute one at that. So as we wrap up our time here, we want to leave everyone with that reminder to connect with each other, to stay open-minded, and to remember what brought you here, to help build those bridges and connect and empower everyone to help continue to build a community where everyone's engaged.
Video ends with a camera shot of quick flashes of NWABA athletes and the NWABA logo.